Hi, friends. So, we've been talking about recovery, especially the 12 steps of recovery. We are on step two. So, my experience with step two has been that it's either really easy or really hard. It's going to be easy for those that already have a God in their life or a faith of some sort, and it's going to obviously be hard for somebody that doesn't believe. My personal experience was I did have a God in my life, but it was like more of a punishing God. I didn't believe that God was going to take my alcoholism away from me for that reason. And also, I just seemed it was like kind of too good to be true, like that a God was just going to rip this thing away from me. In our big book, it says, we needed to ask ourselves but one short question. Do I now believe, or am I even willing to believe, that there is a power greater than myself? As soon as a man can say that he does believe, or is willing to believe, we emphatically assure him that he is on his way. So all we need in step two is a mustard seed of faith. Just this little tiny bit to get going. It doesn't have to be like this, moment. Just a little bit of faith to move on to the rest of the steps. The book gives us some choices, in different parts about God. And basically, like on this page, it says, faced with alcoholic destruction, we soon became as open-minded on spiritual matters as we had tried to be on other questions. So, we are of the hopeless variety of alcoholics when we come into these rooms. And, it's kind of like, well, what do you have to lose? Are you even willing to believe that there's a higher power? Something that is just greater than you. See, I believe that it's just has to be something that's other than you. Because obviously our ideas got us to the jackpots we were in. So, the hopelessness is actually a good thing, because then we are willing to give step two a chance, and we are willing to go through the rest of the steps. The chapter We Agnostics in our big book is a very good chapter on step two, and I recommend that you read it. One of the choices I was talking about, it says here on page 53, when we became alcoholics, crushed by a self-imposed crisis we could not postpone or evade, we had to fearlessly face the proposition that either God is everything or else he is nothing. God either is or he isn't. What was our choice to be? So it's like, just like that old saying is like, whatever you think is true. Like, whether you think you can do something or you think you can't do something, the answer is true. Because, we create our own realities, and even just like the power of positive thinking for those that may not believe in manifestation, but just the power of positive thinking, if we think that there is a power greater than ourselves that can restore us to sanity, maybe that's the case. And like I said earlier, what do we have to lose, right? Lastly, I want to reiterate, I've talked about this in other steps on other videos, but I want to reiterate again on page 25. It says, if you are as seriously alcoholic as we were, we believe there is no middle of the road solution. We were in a position where life was becoming impossible. And if we had passed into the region from which there is no return through human aid, we had but two alternatives. One was to go on to the bitter end, blotting out the consciousness of our intolerable situation as best we could, and the other, to accept spiritual help. So, again, it's a choice. Which is it going to be? Are we going to keep fighting this thing, or are we going to accept the help? I mean, we don't have anything to lose. So we accept the help, we do step 2, we can move on to step 3 and do the rest of the steps. Thank you.